I'm Amon. I'm the CEO of Arts and Zorg. In the outside world, I call myself CEO. Within the organization, I never call myself the CEO. And I try to redefine my role in the company in various roles. Instead of saying I'm the CEO, I'm having a few roles, and my roles are with strategy, innovation, media, and more or less culture. So those that are the roles that I concentrate on in the company. I just heard a very interesting workshop where a healthy organization was defined by 4 dimensions: management, strategy, culture. And I think and operations, and I think I can leave management and operations more and more. I can let go of management operations and instead start focus on strategy, to bring clarity in our strategy and to be a custodian of our culture. So we try to have a very open human culture in our organization, and a culture of trust and joy and kindness and openness. So that's what I'm trying to concentrate on in our company. Over the years, we have grown as an organization, and we have various activities, all related to healthcare, but different parts of healthcare. And we're now active in over 120 locations in our country. So by definition, we are a very decentralized organization, because we found that it's impossible to centrally coordinate and direct 120 plus locations. When we set on a path of self-organization, this was very helpful to grow as a company and to include more and more locations and still work as a whole. So you could say that by nature we are a decentralized organization, and it makes us work in a more self-organized manner, also out of necessity, but also because we would like to work like that. When we started out with self-organization, we needed a purpose, an overall purpose as our guiding principle. In hindsight, I think our first purpose was more of a slogan than it really involved people, or people actually felt the purpose. So when we regenerated our purpose, we spent a lot of time really carefully thinking about what we wanted to include in the purpose. And we had to limit ourselves in words, because we tried to put everything in the purpose, and that was not possible. But we made our purpose such that every word in our purpose has a meaning, something you can involve with. We have personal support in our purpose. That means that we organize our healthcare so that people always recognize the people behind the services, and that we can provide personal support where it's possible or needed, and that it's also a call to ourselves to stay personal as a growing organization, that we don't become impersonal. So that's something that's really felt through the organization. Another word in our purpose is convenience. And this is also a really important guiding principle in how we organize and how we deliver our services, both for our health professionals on the inside and both for our patients on the outside. And very often we return to convenience to discuss what we're doing, because sometimes we may lose sight of how important convenience is, because other issues take the foreground. And therefore, I think having this purpose really helps in staying the course and reach our goals and aims. We didn't employ self-management in a big bang because it was new. It took us a while to define what we understand about self-management and self-organization, and to find a method we felt would fit our organization. And we then came across holacracy, and we started out with holacracy. But we took a very gentle time path and a very gentle approach. So not to implement it as a big bang, because we had to learn. We had learned about it ourselves. So we started at the holding level in the support office with holacracy, and in 2 larger health centers as an experiment how holacracy would work. And when we learned more and we felt it was a success, then we gradually included more teams and more locations to adopt holacracy. And we're still working on it. It's a long path we follow. I think we are now 5 years in the making, and we probably need another 5 years to say that we are a complete self-organized organization. But the encouraging part is that in those places where we started first, it really works. So it also sets an example for the others. And our first adopters now become our ambassadors. And the other nice thing about holacracy and the system we use, which is called Holy Spirit, is that it makes everything transparent. So if people start out with holacracy and they want to know how did they do it, what does it look like, they can go and look in the system and understand which roles they've created, and either take that as a lesson or make their own roles. So then it starts to grow, and then you start to scale up this self-organization throughout the whole organization, because we never said it should be only in parts. I think it will work in the whole organization, although we do combine it in various parts with other methods like lean and agile. Within holacracy, we see it's also possible to use other organizing methods for a specific purpose. So our IT development teams use the Agile Scrum method for the development of the services, which works great, but it also works great within the holacracy structure, because it works great on a product or service level. But if you start building your organization or have teams relate to each other, then holacracy comes in, which is a great combination to structure the technology part of our organization. Within our health clinics, we use Lean to optimize processes. And Lean is a great way to involve teams with day-to-day practices and improve their own work, which is something that in this detail may not work with holacracy, but in combination with holacracy, it's great because, again, it sort of reinforces the idea that you can self-organize and you're mastering your own work. And Lean is an enhancement of this, so it fits great within holacracy. During the COVID crisis, we also learned that sometimes you need to fall back on a more crisis type of organization. And then we took a more directive approach because the crisis demanded really quick decisions and overview and agility and speed. But over time, when it became more of a regular aspect of our operation, again, it got integrated into holacracy, and the crisis organization is not used anymore, and the people working on COVID-specific issues are now organized in circles where they can address this, and then it can be adopted in the organization. It's only when all of a sudden a new crisis arises, and sometimes you need a crisis organization to deal with that specific crisis. But when the crisis is managed or it's going away, then you return back to your holacracy normal. Well, my advice to leaders who also want to adopt self-organizing principles is take your time. Find what best suits your organization, and never forget it's all about us humans. So it's not a tool. It's not a management trick. It's something you need to feel to connect more with the people you work with, to share more with the people you work with, to take a joint responsibility for what you try to achieve as an organization, to use self-organization to liberate ourselves within the organization to better achieve our goals and aims. But never lose out of sight that it's the human factor that counts. That's the reason why we do it. Well, I'm really excited and honored about receiving the award. We didn't know that people were following us. And we're interested in how we did it. And that's maybe because we never really published it or were very, extrovert about it. Because we were still in the process of learning and trying and adopting. So for me, it still feels that we are working on it, and that we maybe sort of halfway in our process of self-organizing. So to me, the award is an encouragement to continue, and that we can learn from each other, and that it's nice to meet people and to share our beliefs and experiences. So I think that's a great thing about this conference and being able to meet other people.